I am not anti-gun. I am anti-gun violence. That's what this issue is about. What can we do to reduce this terrible level of gun violence that we have in this country, that our peer nations don't have anything like that we have, the level that we have. Whenever I speak publicly, I wear these shoes. These shoes are the shoes that Daniel was wearing that awful day at Columbine in 1999. My name is Tom Mauser, and I'm the father of Columbine victim Daniel Mauser. Columbine wasn't the first, nor was it the last school shooting, but I think it was the largest of its time, and it had a great impact on people. A lot of people tell me that they can still remember where they were, what they were doing when they heard the story of Columbine. And unfortunately, Columbine has really become a single word descriptor of a school shooting, and we still have copycats to this day. April 20th, 1999, as you can imagine, is the worst day of my life. No one expects to lose their child in the school. Daniel was killed in the library, and I'm so, I guess, proud in a way that he apparently tried to fight back. He was shot once in the hand, and then he pushed the chair. He was under a table, and he pushed the chair at the shooter, and he paid for that with the second shot that killed him. And it's given me inspiration to really do something about this issue. Daniel was, he was 15. He was a straight A student. He was a very lovable kid. He was Boy Scout, played piano, liked to play video games. What I most admire about Daniel was that he took on his weaknesses. That is, he was not at all athletic, and yet he chose to join the cross-country squad. He was so shy, and yet he chose on his own to join the debate team at Columbine. And that became an inspiration for me, that if he can stand up like that, then I can do it. And I think it's also very symbolic of what we face in America. We have this weakness of this terrible scourge of gun violence, and we have to take it on. We have to deal with it. We have to overcome that terrible weakness that we have. It was about 2 weeks before the tragedy at Columbine that my son Daniel asked me a question out of the blue at the dinner table. Dad, did you know there were loopholes in the Brady Bill? And 2 weeks later, he was killed with a gun that was purchased through a loophole in the Brady Bill. How could I not react to that? In this case, it was the gun show loophole. And I was determined at that point, I was going to have to do something to close that loophole. And in Colorado, we did. We took it to a vote of the people. When our legislature wouldn't close that loophole, we took it to a vote of the people. And it passed. In a pro-gun, then red state, they closed the gun show loophole by a vote of 70% to 30%. So significant. And it's so significant to me that we now have, I'm so thankful that we have now closed that loophole, essentially at the federal level. When the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act was passed, I have to admit, I wasn't quite sure what all was in it. I was thinking, is this really enough? Then I learned more. I became so encouraged when I heard the different parts of it. To see that now finally happening after all these years really gave me a lot of hope that we can do something, that we, indeed is a bipartisan act. That's really significant to me. That's what we have to have. Because, gun violence should not be a partisan issue. People say to me, you've been at this for 25 years, don't you ever get depressed? Don't you get discouraged? And no, I don't. I realize that it takes a lot of work to overcome some of these issues. I have seen many more people get involved in the issue. I am not anti-gun. I am anti-gun violence. That's what this issue is about. What can we do to reduce this terrible level of gun violence that we have in this country, that our peer nations don't have anything like that we have, the level that we have. No parent should have to walk in the shoes of their child who was a victim of gun violence.